Make Canada Great Again could become the slogan of Canadians, since Donald Trump wants to make it the 51st state of the United States. On the shores of Lake St. Clair and across the country, Canadians have been severely shocked.
It's waking up Canada. Trump has woken up Canada to become more self-reliant. We have the resources, we have the things to to make ourselves wealthy again, to make our country wealthy again.
Yeah, that's our T-shirt.
And then this one.
T-shirts have been printed, flags have been hung. And at the April 28th elections, Canadians weren't convinced by the Conservatives, deemed too similar to Trump, and chose Liberal Prime Minister Mark Carney instead, who campaigned hard on Canadian identity. The countries stare each other down, even though they're very close. Like here in American Detroit and Canadian Windsor. Once motorists cross the Ambassador Bridge coming from the United States, they arrive in the historic Sandwich District, run by Stephen Hargreaves. At the microbrewery, they serve a new production of beer.
We have a polite and reserved patriotism, whereas Americans are a bit louder, and this might feel like we're getting a bit louder with things, but I think it is just to sort of say, hey, America, no, we're happy where we are. Since the new U.S. administration has come in and essentially threatened Canada and made bold claims about what the future of Canada is, myself and numerous others I know have not crossed ever again. We use downtown Detroit as almost our downtown. So it's a big shift to adjust to not going to Detroit anymore.
And yet, next September, a new bridge will link the states. But this project, financed by Canada, aiming to celebrate a unique relationship, is now seen differently.
This project took off. It was during the prime ministerialship of Justin Trudeau and the presidency of Barack Obama. And they had quite a good relationship. There was a lot of ideas of like free movement, free trade across the border. And right now it's very different. I don't know if it would be quite as easy to pass something like this today. I think there'd be more anxiety amongst the Canadians of putting money behind something like this if there was concern about the U.S.-Canadian relations.
100 kilometers further north, still on the Canadian side, is the Walpole Island Indian Reserve. And directly opposite is the American shore. Victoria sells traditional products in this small grocery shop that bear witness to an ancestral presence long before the border was established in 1783.
Yeah, Jordan Armitinger.
He does that?
Yeah, he does this tanning and catches them right here on Walpole. This border here, it wasn't drawn by us. We didn't draw this border. This border separated me, my family, from my family in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. So to us, we didn't put it there. I don't like it, but what are we gonna do about it, right? Do you need a copy of the receipt?
No.
No? Do you need a bag?
No.
No. Okay.
Have a good day.
Last year, when we crossed the border, we were able to bring whatever we wanted in at, any cost, $300 of stuff. We can bring them back and forth. It was fine. Today, we can't do that anymore. We have tariffs that we have to pay.
Ferry traffic to the United States has decreased. It docks at Algonac in the state of Michigan. Here, they've also lived for years between ferries and speedboats. In the village of Sans Souci, translating as without worry, the summer season has barely begun. The 500 residents who live here all year round are divided. There are Trumpists who believe that Canada is the problem.
We didn't have any tariffs on anyone. Everyone else is putting tariffs on the U.S. and we didn't have any tariffs for them, so payback's a bitch.
Oh, you can't say that.
They're not. It's all right. Sorry. No, I think it's fine.
At the bar in Sanssouci, some Americans are embarrassed and don't want to speak. There are others, like Mike, who are shocked. He's angry, like the Canadians.
It's been hundreds of years that this has been perfectly fine, and why would you want to do that? There's absolutely no need for the kind of mess that we're going through right now. It's embarrassing. It really is. I've asked, some people said, oh, you're going to travel? I tell them, I said, I'm not so sure you want to leave here. I'm not so sure how you're going to be received in any other country, because they're looking at us. They're saying, what the hell's wrong with you people? And I got to agree. I don't know. I don't know. We elected a convicted criminal, president of the United States. Seriously? How does that work? It's like a bad move. We'll see.
And it was right on the border with Canada, where Donald Trump held a rally in Warren to mark 100 days in the White House.
You finally have a champion for workers in the White House, and instead of putting China first, I'm putting Michigan first, and I'm putting America first.
Michigan is one of the states that helped him win last November. The Lakeshore Presbyterian Church is 5 miles from where Trump's rally took place. The traditional Republican electorate gathered there to celebrate Easter.
I think a lot of countries are upset because they want us as a partner. And so I think Trump is trying to get people back to the table, whereas I think Biden was sort of ignoring that there was a table to begin with and letting all the other countries kind of do whatever they wanted. So.
But young singer Jenna thinks the opposite.
There is a lot of tension, and I also feel saddened. I mean, this is not an ideal political or economic environment, and it's disappointing that our reputation is being tarnished at this time.
The fate of Detroit, America's car industry capital, has often been linked to decisions taken in the White House. Saved by Barack Obama in 2010, the sector is now worried. Detroit is still a stronghold for the Democratic Party, and the Chamber of Commerce denounces Trump's decisions head-on, especially the instability he has created in the business world.
One of the stated goals of the tariffs is to move production, move jobs. And we don't see it like that in Michigan because we see Michigan and Ontario being one and the same. Our commerce and our trade we've been doing this for over 120 years together. So we believe that we would like to keep the trade together, not break it apart. The competition is not between Canada and the United States. The competition is between the global forces, particularly the Chinese automotive industry. So we need to be stronger together.
On the other side of the Ambassador Bridge, Windsor, Canada's car capital, has been closely linked to American Detroit for a century. But the two countries are now completely opposed, with Americans labeling Canadians as nice guys, and Canadians increasingly asserting their difference, particularly in social terms. At the headquarters of the Canadian Auto Workers Union, John Dagnolo shows with his own car how untenable these tariffs will be.
This is the F-150 truck. The engines are built here, and then once the engines are built, they are sent over to the USA. We're so connected and integrated, we're a family. And to tell the company, okay, now you're gonna be tariffed, your car's gonna go up, the sales are gonna drop, and it's gonna impact the bottom line. And it's gonna impact the employees on both sides of the border. So this is devastating, not just for Canadians, for the Americans on the other side. I'm afraid that everybody's going to have walls around each other, that we will no longer be sharing our industries, our technology, our ideologies. Ignoring people's social fabric is dangerous. And that's my worst fear, because in Canada, you know, we have universal health care. The United States does not. We wrap our arms around everybody, and if we start in Canada pointing fingers because what you look like or who you love, that's sad. And I would never want to see that, or how much money you have. This is something that scares me to death. I can't have that. I can't. We're Canadian.
A country with 40 million inhabitants has risen up against its neighbor, with 340 million. As has happened throughout the history of the world, the aggressor has awakened the aggressed, and the latter has emancipated. Canadians now know even more why they don't want to be American. All thanks to Donald Trump.